And hello everyone, welcome back to another CSS tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be taking a look at width and height. So in our HTML, let's actually just remove this and let's just keep this div here. And in here, we can just talk about this margined div. We can also put a little bit of lorem in here. There we go. And we can maybe make the background color cadet blue. There we go. So let's add a width here. Now widths can have multiple or different types of values in here depending on how you want to make the width or height. For example, we could say 200 pixels. And now it will only be 200 pixels in length. So from here to here, that's only 200 pixels. Or you could use 20%. This 20% is based off of the width of this window here. So if we do this, you'll notice it changes in width. You also have auto, which it is by default. Initial, which is basically sets it back to its default value. And inherit, then it will inherit it from its parent. So if its parent is a specific width, then this one will also be that specific width. Let's make this 50% and let's add in height as well, and we can make it 600 pixels. So width and height is really just so easy. But you should always take note that width and height, these properties do not include padding, borders or margins when they calculate the width or the height with it. So the width is the area inside the padding. So it is from where this blue starts to where this blue ends. That is the width. The padding and the border, those are two different things that are not related to the width and height or the margin. Now you also have things such as max width and max height. The max width property is used to set the absolute maximum width that an element is allowed to be. This is nice if you have an element that changes size over time depending on the screen size here. So let's say the width here is 70%. But let's say you don't want it to be at max longer than 500 pixels. Then you say max width 500 pixels. Meaning if we do this, it won't increase, but if we go smaller, it will change in size. You can also have a min width. And a min width, let's say we make that 100 pixels. That means it cannot be smaller than that minimum width. So here, it cannot grow bigger, and here, it cannot grow smaller. We can even make it, to make it a bit more easy to notice, 200 pixels. And now it will notice it easier. Or 500, and now it can change at all. You can also have a min height and a max height that you can set to make it the width or the height that you need it as well. So you should not get confused. The width is what it changes into. So if we say 70%, that means the width may change depending on the resolution or the size of this window. But max width says, okay, you're allowed to change, but you're not allowed to go bigger than this width here. And min width says, okay, you are allowed to change, but you're not allowed to go under this in size. With width, you could also just give it a set value such as 500 or 600 pixels and just remove the max constraints. And it will work. But if you use something that changes over time, then you can force it to be in a specific size that you need. We'll later on get into changing the size of things depending on the screen resolution or screen size. That doesn't just involve percentages. But right now, that's not too important. And that is it. Width and height is just so simple. All you need to do is you just set the width and height, but you also have the option to have a max width or a max height, as well as a minimum width and a minimum height. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all again in the next CSS tutorial.